Queen Letizia of Spain attends the premiere of a new documentary in Madrid. King Frederick X of Denmark presents the 2024 Maritime Award in Nordhavn. Grand Duchess Maria Theresa of Luxembourg attends a recital in Colmarberg. And Queen Rania of Jordan meets with a group of women in southwest Azal. All this and much more coming up next on your Royal Daily News. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are doing well today. If you're new to my channel, my name is Alexandra, and welcome to your Royal Daily News for Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. On Wednesday, Her Majesty, Queen Rania of Jordan, held a meeting with a group of women from the villages of Eyera and Yarka, southwest of Azal, to discuss the women's efforts to highlight the agricultural area's unique assets. In a brief statement from Her Majesty's court, it noted that during the meeting, the Queen heard from Mrs. Al-Abadi, the founder of Atayab Eyera, a, quote, project that invites visitors to sample food items created using products sourced from the village. The women also spoke with the Queen about several issues of importance to their families and the local community, end quote. Last evening, His Majesty, King Abdullah II of Jordan, hosted a gala dinner at Al Husseiniya Palace in honor of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq Al Said of Oman's state visit to the Kingdom of Jordan. Guests attending the gala dinner included His Royal Highness Crown Prince Al Hussein bin Abdullah II of Jordan, His Highness Saeed Bilarab bin Haytham Al Said of Oman, members of the Sultan's court, members of the King's court, and distinguished guests. This afternoon, His Majesty the King, His Majesty the Sultan, the Crown Prince of Jordan, His Highness Saeed Bilarab bin Haytham Al Said of Oman, and Her Royal Highness Princess Sumaya bint Al Hassan of Jordan visited the Jordan Museum in Ras Al Ain. According to the Royal Hashemite Court, quote, Their Majesties toured the museum and viewed its exhibits and collections, which document the cultural, historical, and archaeological heritage of Jordan over more than 1.5 million years, end quote. In Paris, His Royal Highness, Hereditary Grand Duke Guillaume of Luxembourg, visited the Luxembourg Pavilion at the 8th edition of the Viva Tech Exhibition and Trade Fair. Established in 2016, Viva Tech gathers leading international entrepreneurs, startups, investors, researchers, and thinkers to Paris. Quote, Viva Tech has become Europe's #1 startup and tech event, recognized worldwide as a powerful catalyst for business transformation, startup growth, and innovation. In 2023, the trade fair counted more than 2,800 exhibitors and 150,000 attendees, end quote. According to the Cour Grand Ducal, this year, over 60 representatives from Luxembourg companies are participating in the 4-day event. In the evening, the Hereditary Grand Duke attended a reception at the Embassy of the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg in Paris. In Luxembourg City, His Royal Highness Grand Duke Henri of Luxembourg hosted a reception at the Palais Grand Ducal in honor of Her Majesty Margrethe, the custodian of the Crown of Romania, and His Royal Highness Prince Radu of Romania's working visit to the Grand Duchy. On Tuesday, Her Majesty and Prince Radu participated in the conference entitled Security of the Eastern Borders of the EU and NATO, a Romanian Perspective, held at the Pierre Werner Institute. On Wednesday, in Colmarberg, Her Royal Highness Grand Duchess Maria Theresa of Luxembourg, accompanied by the ambassador of the Kingdom of Spain to the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg, Mr. José María Rodríguez Coso, attended a private recital by the Escolania de Montserrat Boys Choir at Chateau de Berg. According to the Cour Grand Ducal, the choir is one of the oldest in Europe, dating back to the 14th century in Montserrat, a monastery 50 kilometers northwest of Barcelona. In Manila, Her Majesty, Queen Maxima of the Netherlands, in her capacity as the United Nations Secretary General's Special Advocate for Inclusive Finance for Development, and her title's way too long, concluded her 3-day visit to the Republic of the Philippines. The Queen's visit focused on advancing key foundational building blocks for financial inclusion, including connectivity, digital identification, and digital payments, as well as enhancing financial health and resilience against economic and climate-related challenges for Filipinos. Today, the Queen visited the Ateneo de Manila University. According to a press release from the UN SGSA, the university and nonprofit organization Co-Develop recently launched a technical resource lab where Philippine public and private institutions can jointly build and test digital public services in a safe and responsible environment to promote financial inclusion. The Queen also visited the headquarters of the Asian Development Bank, where she held a meeting with the president, Mr. Masa Asakawa. According to a statement from the Asian Development Bank, quote, "The discussion focused on financial exclusion, an issue that affects women, small and medium-sized companies, and other disadvantaged groups, exasperates poverty and increases the burden of climate change on marginalized communities." End quote. This morning, His Majesty, King Frederick X of Denmark, attended the conference entitled Good Public Management Meaning, Behavior and Barriers at King Frederick's Center for Public Management at Aarhus University. According to a press release from Aarhus University, the conference focused on what good public management means, what it requires of managers, and, quote, what challenges there can be when you want to practice good public management. The conference is also an opportunity to look at the seams of your organization of the management task. Is the management span right? Is the management room large enough? Do you give employees and middle managers sufficient discretion? End quote. Prior to the first panel session of the day entitled Meaning, Behavior, and Barriers, management ambassadors share their insights about good public management, the King gave the welcoming speech. In the afternoon, the King presided over the presentation of the 2024 Danish Shipping Award ceremony in Nordhavn. During the ceremony, the King presented the 2024 Maritime Prize to the crew of the Royal Danish Navy frigate Iver Huitfeldt. According to Naval News, the frigate was recently sent on a mission as part of the International Maritime Coalition in and around the Red Sea to strengthen maritime security, known as Operation Prosperity Guardian. However, the mission was, quote, cut short by approximately 2 weeks, following issues with air defenses aboard the frigate during an engagement of a group of 15 Houthi drones on March 9th. The defense news site OLFI was the first to report on the issues, which included the frigate being unable to use its ESSM air defense missiles for a half an hour, as well as up to half of the rounds fired from the twin 76mm guns detonating too early and close to the ship. Despite these issues, the frigate managed to down 4 of the incoming drones, with the rest being handled by other vessels. Following a 30-minute reboot of the air defense system, the ESSM was back online, and 3 missiles, as well as 50 to 100 rounds of 76mm ammunition, were eventually used to bring down the 4 drones during the engagement, which in total lasted about an hour. End quote. And that's your military news for today. Moving on. In Stockholm, Their Majesties, King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia of Sweden hosted a luncheon for the federal president of Austria, Mr. Alexander van der Bellen, at the Royal Palace. And finally, in Madrid, Her Majesty, Queen Letizia of Spain, attended the premiere of the documentary entitled La Ciencia de las Mujeres de Africa, Science by Women, held at Palacio de la Prensa. According to a press release from the Women for Africa Foundation, the documentary tells the story of, quote, African scientists who have gone through the program Science by Women. The program promotes the leadership of African women in scientific research and technology transfer. They talk about the realities as women, gender inequality, their professional careers, the abyss that exists in science in their environment compared to Western countries, the problems of accessing the industry, and the lack of technical means to develop their work. End quote. And there you have it. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. I will be back tomorrow on Friday, May 24th, with all the latest world news and events. Until then, I sincerely wish each and every one of you a wonderful afternoon. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, comment below, and click on the notification bell so you won't miss a new episode. Have a wonderful afternoon, everyone, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.